Well, thank you for allowing me to come here to speak this evening. I want to address item 9.1. You want to tell me, I should say who I am. Karen Lalonde,
Yep.
sorry.
Boy, you read my mind.
I want to address item 9.1 of the WMR 2025 membership fee. And I thought this was already addressed at a prior meeting and voted upon, but I could be wrong. Anyway, first, this is not an expenditure that I believe that benefits Springfield at this time, or in fact, in my opinion, at any time. It has not been decided if Springfield is going to be in or going to be out. And until that time, I'm sure the taxpayer dollars could be used towards a number of things that benefit our municipality. Taxpayers don't want another layer of bureaucracy. We pay for 2 as it is, 3 actually, and I feel that's quite enough. And Winnipeg has their own financial problems to deal with, and many surrounding municipalities don't want or don't need their control over us. The city of Winnipeg and the province can fund it until such time as the surrounding 18 surrounding RMs make a decision to join or to opt out. If they feel their citizens are in favor, then they can carry the ball for a while until we get Bill 4 or whatever bill we've got to get passed before we can go ahead and make that decision. MWR was brought forward in secrecy and not in a democratic manner. Citizens were left in the dark with what was happening behind closed doors. And we look forward to transparency in the future and accountability of our taxpayer funds. I guess my question is why is this coming forward again?
Sorry, I got some echo here. We're going to vote on that actually next, but we deferred it just to get some clarification from WMR, and we actually had a ministers meeting after that as well, and receive a clarification from the highest level. Essentially, I'm going to be talking when I'm saying this in regards to the same 9.1. We're required to pay our bills, and we are still part of the WMR. I hope to be so.
But did we opt in?
Well, no, we were mandated in. We're mandated by the act. The province mandated all the RMs around the city of Winnipeg to be part of the WMR. This Bill 4, I think the minister or the premier had stated as the Freedom Bill. In fact, Bill 4 will allow the RMs to opt out if they chose to do so. But our bill still is required to be paid. We are still part of it.
Well, thank you anyway for the response. I appreciate it. You have a question, Andy?
Councillor Kaczynski?
Yes, I'd just like to make comment. Thank you, Mr. Lalonde, for your presentation. I would think that we should ask for refund from WMR for all those years, 5 years that we was paying to them and with no results, because that plant 150 was just scrap at this moment. So why we don't ask for refund? Like, we cannot pay for something that I don't know how these people spend all this time, and I don't know where this money going.
Well, the problem being is the taxpayer was never aware of this.
That's correct. And you know, like 5 years of everybody time and aggravation and nothing achieved. And I don't know why government don't see that and just put stop to it.
I am just saying that Mrs. Lalonde isn't in a position for that, nor are we. But we can discuss that at 9.1, which is next in any case. So you can bring it up as well, Andy. But I don't think Mrs. Lalonde is in a position there to give an opinion on that, apart from, you know.
Thank you very much.
No, I just presented my opinion. I didn't ask Mrs. Lalonde to give us any advice on that. Thank you.
Maybe you should.
Councillor Miller?
Thank you, Mayor, and thank you, Mrs. Lalonde, for coming out today to share your concern about this particular initiative. My background is the Institute of Urban Studies, and I know that when I was there, we studied a number of capital regions. In other words, various cities that had municipalities surrounding it that if they would collaborate and cooperate, there was actually some dual benefit. So there is some dual benefit, but in this context, it's a little bit different. So my question to you is, do you think that there could be a better arrangement or a better way that we could share information? So in other words, the City of Winnipeg has their goals and aspirations. The RM of Springfield, Taché, and everybody else has their aspirations, and they may not always see eye to eye, but how could one work together to join synergies? In other words, I could give an example. I think it was in Pittsburgh where the municipalities wanted to draw certain industries to their region. And another example would be San Francisco, as you know, in San Jose. San Jose is the hub for the tech industry. And so they collaborated together to attract by taxation, by a whole bunch of different methods to bring the tech giants to their region, which they did, as you know, from Google to everyone else. But how could we work in some sort of a way with the City of Winnipeg and other municipalities to build on these kinds of positive outcomes? I know there's competition amongst the municipalities. Everybody wants that perfect fit, that perfect company. But as it was demonstrated to us with the document that the WMR they released, it looked like there was a lot of verbiage, but there was really no outcomes, no goals, and it was a loosey-goosey kind of a document. And that's why obviously the provincial government said, you guys got to get back to square one and revisit this. But do you have any concept or an idea? And I know because you were on council here, how we could work better with Taché, West St. Paul, and all the rest of them going forward outside of the WMR?
For an example, I just wondered, as far as our water treatment plant went, I think Taché was looking at one as well. There could have been a conversation between the two municipalities to try to work together to maybe, get one and both communities pay into it. So I don't think, anybody's hands are tied without reaching out to other RMs that we have, we both get a benefit from whatever we're looking at. I just don't think we need another layer of bureaucracy. And as the document is written, I think it's just total overreach and costly overreach.
I participate, like other councillors and the mayor, in the Association of Regional Municipalities.
Mhm.
And it's a very good forum. There's very little cost to it other than our time and obviously some meal. But I find when I go to these meetings, or once per month, you may have in the past, that we share ideas of what's happening in each of the
Exactly.
communities. And it's amongst the best forums that I can see us
Mhm.
having, because I might talk to Councillor Johnson, say, from McDonald, and he's saying that they have concerns with this, or their cost for a rec center, or that, or so we all collaborate in that
Sure.
context, right? And it's
No, I find that's very helpful.
very helpful. Yes.
You don't want to drill me? No.
She's close enough.
Okay, well, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Mrs. Lalonde. Then I think if there's any other questions, we can move on from delegation and go to 9.1. If we can get a mover and a seconder for the Winnipeg Metropolitan Region 2025 membership fee. Get a mover and seconder, Patrick and Melinda. Somebody wants to start off with regards to this. There is comments from Mr. Giesbrick, but I think we can do our discussions first and then go to the comments later. Councillor Miller.
Thank you again, Mayor. I've had a number of residents who have raised concerns with the WMR, and as you know, the public hearings had to be closed down in Niverville because there was such anxiety and concern with the procedure. Thank goodness, as I said, that Premier Canoe and his minister basically had a second sober look and revisited the document and are now looking at other options. But the residents in my area are concerned for a number of reasons. One, we obviously don't want to be controlled by the city of Winnipeg. We do want to be involved and understand the concerns that they have and share in some of the progress that they have. But at the same time, I guess my question is actually specific to the CAO tonight, is how long have we been paying the WMR membership fees, and to what cost to our ratepayers has this been a burden? In other words, as you know, the last 2 years we paid over $17,000 in membership fees, and we yielded a big goose egg. Not one thing came of investing $34,000 or $35,000. Not one thing other than animosity from the public and this barrier between what seems to be between the politicians or the political and bureaucratic elite and the public, because the public were again locked out of that meeting in Niverville. So I suspect without proper stakeholders involved, we have to realize that the Winnipeg metropolitan region, and I go on record for this, I'm not sure if they've changed, but their chairperson was the president or chairman of the Winnipeg Home Builders Association. And so not only that, but you have a mayor from East St. Paul who owns Carrington Homes, it's public record, is also evidently a builder and is on the Winnipeg metropolitan region. So all I'm saying is, as I brought in that lobbyist bylaw some time ago, you have another organization here that has the interests of the home building segment of our society and doesn't best represent the people of Manitoba, or at least of this region. And so I await perhaps your answer to, I am sincerely concerned, and I hate to raise this because it's going on in the United States in a negative tone as it should perhaps, but the Doge thing, are we throwing away another $17,000 to the wind and say, here's $17,000 and come back with your report in 2 years and maybe we'll like it, maybe the public won't even have a chance to have any dialogue in it. If it's mandatory, and I believe the mayor is truthful in what he says, it's mandatory to pay this, why are we even voting on it? In other words, if it's a mandatory fee, I guess just cut the check. It shouldn't require our
I
vote
did
yes or
attempt
no.
to do that, and council pulled it out of that listing and asked that we hold it back and bring it back for a vote. So I talked to everybody I could. Council met with the minister. We talked to the senior staff in his department. There's the Bill 4 FAQ on the consent agenda that clearly lays out, if you are a member, you are required to pay those membership fees. That Bill 4, until it's passed, council doesn't have the right to opt out. So at this point, we're mandated to pay that. The RM has been a member of what used to be referred to as the Partnership of the Capital Region, which was created in 1998, and we have been a member since that time. So I don't think I'm going to comment on if we got anything good out of it or not. That's for council to decide.
Thank you for your answers. Is it possible to, I don't want to put you on the spot because I know it's not probably even possible, but how much money has the RM input into the Winnipeg Partnership, or the now WMR, since 1998?
I can get back to you with that. I know they've had, I think this is a third name change, so I'd have to go back, go to all the names and search everything we've paid and get back to council with an amount.
And that would be useful for a couple of reasons. One, it would be an argument to the province saying that, we provided $100,000, if that's what it is, over the last number of years, and yet have yet to have anything really yield for the benefit of Springfield. Now, if they could come up and say to us, the WMR, the previous partnerships actually brought this to the RM of Springfield, then maybe I could see value for money. But I always want to see value for the money because, again, $17,000 plus is a lot of money, and it does make a dent because it's not only $17,000 here, it's 15 there, it's another 3 there. Cumulatively, we're hemorrhaging money. And I think my responsibility on council is to ensure, as you know, to cut the fat from the bailiwick and be a scrutineer. But again, I realize we're kind of pinned in a corner that if it's mandated to pay it, I just feel that it's not a very good benefit for the RM of Springfield.
Deputy Mayor?
Yeah, I'd just like to add that Councillor Miller is, as you know, I've been on this council for 3 terms, and I can tell you it's been in legislation from the day I've been in it. And I can tell you that when it was reformatted, we had a get together on basically the WMR's goals and objectives and what to do, but it was mandated by the province, and we didn't have a choice. So I can assure you of that out of these 3 terms that I was on. Okay, thank you.
Councillor Kaczynski?
Yes, we're not disputing that, you know, we have to pay, but do we even know what this money is provided for? Like what they're using this money for?
I can answer that.
Yeah, please.
Well, the money is from all the other RMs plus the city. They have to contribute based on population there. Ours being one of the highest, yeah, probably one of the highest. There we're paying well, it's closer to 18,000 than the 17, but let's say 18,000. They have planners. They have the executive there that works with the chair. So there is it's not a huge, I think there's 4 people involved there and getting, plus the office that is rented there to have the planners. And all these people were working together in trying to get across version 1, which is the plan 2050, which is long gone. Not long gone, but it's since been shelved December the 19th, I believe. So the cost is the cost of doing business there for the staff and getting this prepared. And as you know, everything is costly there. So all 18 RMs in the city of Winnipeg work together, and there's a fee for that. The fee isn't spent frivolously. The fees are broken down to, you know, like any of the other business, and everybody else in the council, with the exception of myself, knows that fees make up like 80% of businesses there. So they've got planners, masters and planners. You got to pay them a little bit more. So it all goes to fees and the infrastructure.
So who is responsible for WMR? Just the board or the provincial government, like Minister of Municipal Affairs?
Yes, they report to the Minister of Municipal Affairs. We have to supply a report to the minister for January of 2027. So that's the next version coming out. We're still working on that, and I have another meeting on Thursday. So we're working out trying to take the bits that we had there from the meetings and the consultations that were done over the last 2 years that I've been attending there, and trying to come up with a plan that works for all of us there. So all the mayors and the RMs there and the Reeves as well. They attend, and we put our thoughts together, and we're trying to make a plan that's better suitable than Plan 2050.
And who is driving the whole program? Like who's setting up the goals? Like what's supposed to be achieved and what's supposed to be done with that time? Because we might wait another 2 years, probably we won't be on the council at that time. And but we're spending money right now, and maybe there'll be no results again. Who's going to control that? Like municipality we paying the money, but they should come to us and we see the progress, what's happening. Otherwise, you know, just waste of time and money again could be. That's possibility of it.
I don't. I wouldn't say that it was a waste of time and money. And this is how you know, mediations and mitigation works. It's people have ideas, and then the public spoke quite vocally there. I would be cautious to say that it wasn't a proper representation of the population there. I think it was a small vocal group there, but that aside, 2050 is thrown or put on the shelf. Do we throw the baby out with the bathwater? My feeling is that there were some good parts with regards to that plan, and there were some bad parts. And I'll go on the record, and I've said it before, that I would have voted no there for the plan of 2050. I couldn't divulge that, nor should any council ever divulge what they're going to vote in advance, because we don't know what the details are going to be. We don't know what the details of this plan are going to be. And anybody who had comments that they want to get out of it right away, I'm not sure that's preemptive, premature. There you have to see what the plan is there, and what's coming before. But to say no automatically is not representing an open mind nor good governance there. But the plan here is, do we pay the bill or not? And the bill is simply has to be paid. We're mandated to pay the bill. We pay our bills.
So when we have meeting with the minister, he was making notes, and when they gonna come up with that plan so you can start working on that plan? Do we know the time frame when the minister gonna present some
No.
framework for WMR?
No, it's going to be debated there, and I'm not even sure where we're at with regards to that. There, I've heard somewhere in late summer, or I hate to even say that because we don't know until it's passed, and it's not passed until it gets the royal assent as well. So there could be a delay with that and so on. So the discussions are going to be in the legislative buildings with regards to Bill 4 and what that's going to be, the makeup of this is going to be, the parameters anyways, and we kind of have to work with that too. We don't know what it's going to be as well, but we do know what's good and what's bad, and what people didn't like with regards to Plan 2050, and what the good things and what the bad things are. So that we're quite cognizant of there. Councillor Miller had said that he liked the ARM discussions there were meeting, and I exactly I agree with that fully. And this is the same way where Councillor Miller states that our meetings are very good forum, to meet once a month there, and that we share ideas and so on. Excellent. This is the same thing. This is the same plan here, is that there's 17 RMs plus the city of Winnipeg, and we're sharing all these ideas at the same time. It's no different than ARM there. We're actually sitting down and having discussions there. We're having discussions on the points that we want to get across. What's one RM may want something a little bit more that's good for the entire. We're looking at the entire picture here, and not just for the arm of Taché, West St. Paul, St. Clements, and East St. Paul, and so on like that. It's for the entire picture. We're looking at the city of Winnipeg being in the middle because they're the big boys in the block, and we all work together, just like ARM. No different than ARM. It involves everybody getting together and issuing what they like to see, and it's not. It's a process, is what I'm trying to say here, and that's about the best I can describe.
Yeah, I understand, but if you don't have directions, which road you're taking to achieve something, then you have meetings now, and what you guys discussing when you don't even know, like you said, maybe end of the summer you might get, or end of the spring. I don't know when's gonna happen. Direction from the minister to,
right,
give the road, that you're gonna follow.
Yeah, well, that's a good point, Councillor Kaczynski. We are going to have discussions, public consultations that are going to be scheduled, but we're still kind of waiting for Bill 4 and seeing how everything is going to be working around that. I would hope that we could have some dates coming up in the near future where the public is going to have their chance to be given their insight and what they want to see, and what the plan is going to be all about.
Thank you.
Deputy Mayor Fuel.
Yeah, I'd just like to make a comment that when I attended the planning conference in Brandon, that Honorable Glenn Samar did speak at that conference, and he assured everybody that there will be public open houses to debate and talk about your wishes and concerns, and that will happen. So I just wanted to add that. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Miller?
Thank you, Mayor and Deputy Mayor Fuel. I do truthfully believe that this new government is taking a little bit different approach and wants to encourage and involve the public. So I'm very pleased with that. In terms of Ms. Lalonde's concerns, I just wanted to echo those again, because I think it's important to know that we don't want to have another layer of bureaucracy and people who aren't accountable, transparent, and frankly open. So I would ask the mayor if he could, as a representative on that organization, if he could divulge to us or make public the budget line items that this organization has. Maybe they, like you say, they're all legitimate, but you know, all you have to do to really solve this issue is to be, what I say, open, accountable, and transparent. If it's legitimate, the public will understand and they might even buy in and support it. But because I don't even know what these dollars are being spent for, you say they're being spent for, you know, this engineer and that person over there. It's just, as Ms. Lalonde said, another layer of bureaucracy that we're paying these people their salaries. But since 1998, we haven't yielded any specific benefit to the RM of Springfield. And if there is one, please have them name it, because I just don't see it. And this is tens of thousands of dollars. What I would like to see, and everybody knows, and Mr. Councillor Fuel knows because he's in the private sector, you would want performance measures and you want deliverables. For any dollar that you invest, you just don't throw it into the wind and hope for something 2 years down the pipe. You have a goal, you had a set of business plans that will show you what's going to yield from your investment. And to this date, I still don't see what we're going to yield from this quote investment, and because we don't even know how they're spending these dollars that we're getting. And that's my greatest irritant. So I challenge the mayor as our rep on that board to get some financial information so we know and we can share with the public. Don't hide it. And I'm not saying you, but the WMR ought not to hide this information from the public, because again, they'll get the buy-in for the public if they know what's being of benefit, why these dollars are being spent. So thank you.
Thank you. And I better not talk too much here, but my suggestion is that I'm sure there's a breakdown of the finances there, but I will check into that. If I don't know the answer, then I'm not going to waste time here. But there is something there, and I will look into that and get back to council. But I think we should discuss. There's comments there from Mr. Giesbrick there. Not sure you want me to contact or you want to talk with regards to that?
Up here, I think it's kind of the same concerns that the delegation spoke about. Just not seeing the benefit of the RM being a member of WMR, and that he feels the people have spoken clearly and they want the RM to opt out. And I guess that's when the opportunity arises. So it's attached to the agenda for public information, but yeah, like I said, it's pretty much what you've all touched on already.
Okay. Everybody else has read that as part of our agenda there. Unless there's any other questions with regards to that, I guess the resolution will be whether we pay this or not. Miller, Councillor Miller?
Just some clarity, Mr. Mayor. I believe it's true that we can't opt out at this particular time anyway. So I think you've all heard me before that I would be probably one of the first to opt out, especially on the old document. We don't know what's coming forward, but having said that, I don't think there's an option to opt out at this particular time. As you say, it's mandatory. So I just wanted to reinforce what Mr. Giesbrecht said here, that he's saying that we can opt out, but I don't believe we can opt out. So yet is the operative word.
I think he was referring to the opting out, Bill 4 there, and opting out of the membership fee. It's not clear, but it is down under the membership fee, but either or we have to pay the bill. So there. So if we can read the resolution, then we can vote on that.
Be it resolved that Council of the RM of Springfield approve the 2025 Winnipeg Metropolitan Region Inc. membership fees in the amount of $17,995 on check number 162021.
Can I get a show of hands of those in support of membership fee? Melinda, Glenn, and Patrick. Those opposed? Mark and Andy, and it is so passed.